This time we call the Tuesday, November 22nd, 2022 meeting of the Jackson County Board of Supervisors to order. Larry McDevitt and Nick Steinis and myself, Jack Willie, are your supervisors. We have Lisa Smith and Bjorn Beck from the auditor's office and Luann Goki, our administrative assistant. And the first item on the agenda is Todd Kinney, Jackson County Engineer. Good morning. Todd.
Good morning. So the first item for the board's action is the joint service agreement for the city of Monmouth. This is, so I think it was last week, maybe we did the agreement where we were a joint recipient with the city and we did the funding agreement with the DOT. This one is directly between Jackson County and the city of Monmouth for the Jackson County Second Road Department to do the design and then also do the construction, administration, and observation when the project is built. It's a full reimbursement. We're not charging interest or anything, but it's not to exceed 25,000 because that's, if you recall, we checked back with the ECIA and their rural county transportation program. They've never applied, so I would think as long as we've talked to Sean, I've talked to Chandra, the city clerk, pretty much on board for getting that application in. So I like their chances of getting funded, but that's really how they plan on reimbursing us for the design work and the CACO work that we do.
It would become a wash.
My guess is, again, once we do the survey, so we can do the hydraulics and we get the size of the structure, I think it'll be substantially less than 25,000. So I'm gonna, when I talk to Chandra, when they do their application, I would say it's gonna be for paying for designing CACO for this bridge and then I'll give them an estimate of what I think will be left and they'll be able to do it for, Seal Code and city streets or where they want to do.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'd like to see them get it to it. They haven't, they certainly would benefit from it and need to benefit from it.
And they're basically gonna get that bridge replaced and they're not gonna have any budget come out of their city's budget.
I guess the issue with them in the past is if you don't apply, you ain't gonna get it, so.
Pretty much the case.
That's the truth.
So that's what that is, and we're just charging our actual costs, so we're not like making money off of it. Whatever hours we have, we get reimbursed, and whatever they have left, like I said, they can use for other work within the city.
Sidewalk approach or whatever.
Yep.
I would make a motion to approve the funding agreement with the city of Monmouth.
Second. Motion and a second to approve the joint public service agreement with the city of Monmouth. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carried.
Okay, next is the approval of hiring for the motor grader position out of Springbrook shop. We interviewed 4 individuals, all good applicants, had good interviews. I think the interview team, basically I think we felt comfortable hiring any one of them, but the person that we selected and that accepted the position was Jacob Kilberg. I think he's interviewed with us at least twice since I've been here, since I've been a part of that. So his start date is December 5th. So just recommend him for hiring.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second to offer the position to Jacob Gilbert. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carried.
Okay. So last meeting, we talked about the interest permits and one of the applicants had requested using a different pipe material and also used pipe. The county has gotten away from maintaining private property entrances with road use tax money. So now the maintenance of the entrance is on the property owner. So that begs the question, do we now allow other material other than corrugated metal pipe? Because when the county was maintaining them, we wanted the property owner was paying for the pipe. We wanted a certain type of pipe. So knowing that it was going to last a certain length of time, that we wouldn't have to deal with issues with the pipe failing. So we're not going to maintain the driveways anymore. So we talked about allowing plastic reinforced concrete pipe. So now the new permit allows that. I can read you the language that we changed. It's on the backside of the. It says that the entrance pipe materials shall be plastic, corrugated metal, or reinforced concrete. Plastic culvert materials shall meet the Iowa DOT specification section 4193 C and D, except that perforations will not be allowed in the pipe, so we don't want perforated pipe. The culvert pipe shall be blank inches in diameter, which we fill in based on the drainage area, and feet in length as shown on the sketch. So we still select the diameter and the length. Length is based on whether it's on a paved road or gravel road and how much safety slope that you need. And then the other section we added was all culverts shall be installed in strict conformity with the manufacturer's recommendation. Used pipe may be installed subject to inspection by the Jackson County Secondary Road Department and approval of the pipe's condition and size. So it's the condition's got to be approved and the size that they're going to use is got to be approved. The only other change on the permit is the old permit had a max width, top width, so the driving width of 35 feet. You guys were approving permits that were wider than that, so we just changed that max to 50 feet to accommodate what basically you guys were already approving. So those are the changes. The only thing that I was going to ask you about was for the driveway extensions. For a new one, we charge $100. Extension is $25. Really, what we do as far as looking at the location, the size, doing the site distance check, we do a site distance check on an extension as well. Because sometimes, you know, if it's an old driveway and they want to extend it, if there's a serious site distance issue, we want to address that through the permit process. So the effort we do is the same, whether it's a new or an extension. Do you still want to charge $25 for the extension and $100 for the new, even though that what the process we go through for an extension is the same as what it is for a new driveway. So just if you guys don't want to change it, that's fine, but really the cost to the department is the same, whether it's an extension or a new driveway. So
I don't see a big issue with changing it. I don't know how many new extensions do we get a year? 3, 4?
yeah, you'd probably know better than I would. So
Handful, yeah, I don't think. Is Clinton County similar then, your permit?
the permit fee is the same. We're the same. We don't maintain driveways or anything.
Yeah.
We currently don't allow plastic, but it's come up a couple times and the board has not decided to make that change. We do have a corrugated metal pipe manufacturer.
I think as long as it meets the specs, like you say, the DOT specs, I don't have it.
Yeah, I mean, if plastic pipe is put in correctly, it's gonna perform well. The big issue is if you burn your ditch, that's gonna be an issue for plastic pipe. So what I'll do is, I checked with Mike and you guys technically didn't approve these permits, but I believe this is kind of like county policy. So what I would do is what I propose to do, and you guys tell me if you want to do something different, is I'll have these final. I'll put them on the agenda and you want to approve them by motion. Because it's county policy, basically.
Yeah, we'll do it by motion.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right, so you want to change the extension to 100? That'd be the only other thing I'd change on here physically.
I don't need it. I don't need to change.
I don't think so.
Keep it the same, okay.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll just change the language like I read off out loud to you guys. We change the max width to 50. I'll come back with a finalized set of permits. I'll email them out and so they'll have them and then we can approve it by motion. That'll
Sounds
work?
good.
Okay.
So you're just tabling this.
Yeah, I guess I was just presenting it to you.
Need to
We can
have,
approve it with those changes.
Well, I guess that, however you want to do it. There's no hurry.
I would bring it back next
That's
week.
fine. I would agree. So. All right.
so we had it as an action, action item, so we need a motion to table it.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and second to table. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carried.
Okay. Last item. So. back in June of 2022. There was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 bridges that we posted. Various locations in the county. Two of the bridges, why I want to talk about this, let's get this right, Teddy Moore, 0746 at Centerville Road, just outside of St. Denis. And then the other one in Washington Township, 374th Avenue. Mostly the TDM bridge, it's posted at 24 tons. So
It's right on Centerville?
yeah. It's 125 foot by 20 slab. So right now we're posting it at 24 tons, all vehicles. So what that means is what's setting the limit is the short axle base truck. So this truck at top, right? That's what's setting the limit. You can either post bridges as 24, whatever tonnage, all vehicles, or if you post with a 3 truck silhouette, they call it like this. Okay. So what I'm asking is if we posted with this 3 truck silhouette, you could post to 24, 40 and 40. So 24 ton limit on this type truck, 40 ton there and 40 ton there. So like this truck in the middle at 40 ton, 80,000 is basically legal, except for that little bit bigger truck that goes up to 96,000. So there's a lot of semi trucks that could be crossing that bridge legally if we post with the 3 truck silhouette. So that's my question. Do you want to do a resolution to repost that bridge using this sign instead of the just where you just say weight limit and then it says tons in the middle, all vehicles? Because that's more restrictive. The all vehicles one is more restrictive, more conservative, but like I said, it also limits trucks that could legally cross there. So
If they're not overloaded.
if they're loaded legally at 80,000.
Well, legally is 90,000.
For a period. Just for a short period, during harvest.
Yeah, and those 96, it depends on the type of truck you have too. So this truck in the middle is the one where I think you don't see this truck very often. But this truck in the middle at 80,000, there's a lot of people that would be legal that could cross.
And the bridge is good for that, right?
Yeah, that's what it's rated. So their recommendation for rating was 24, 40, 40. So there's 3 postings you have this, which is what they call the short wheelbase, the type 4 truck. There's what I would call like the S3S truck, the HS20 type vehicle, and then the 5-2 is the double bottom truck they call it.
It only makes sense to have it more explained like that, you know, to the individual that's driving down the road. I mean, he doesn't know that unless.
But in my mind,
Is he going around anyway? I don't know, but the point is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the easiest sign is the single weight limit. You don't have to look at your truck picture silhouette. You know, if I'm over 24,000 tons or 24 tons, I'm overloaded. I'm overweight. If you post it like this, you just need to say that'll say 40 ton. If I'm driving a truck like this, I know I got to weigh less than 80,000. So
You see a lot of them.
Yeah.
On the road.
So
Is that how you post them in Clinton also?
what we don't have as many bridges that are posted. So I typically use just the total tonnage. And for
I think
us,
this spells it out much better
Yeah.
for the driver.
so it's on for discussion, no action. So if you direct me to what I'll do is I'll bring back a resolution and it'll just be. I don't think I want to change the other one. There's another bridge, Washington Bridge on 300 Wash 0725 on 374th Avenue. You could do the same silhouette on there. But it's only 26 foot long and 19 foot wide.
So you wouldn't catch a 40, 50 foot trailer and truck anyway. You wouldn't be all on at the same time. You'd be.
So
You have 2 axles on it basically at one time.
and if you want to post that bridge, that other one in Wash County, it'd be a 1 lane posting. So it'd have to be 1 lane, 28, 40 by 40, and then you can be legal. So at 19 foot wide, I mean, I'm not going to meet another truck anyway. I'm going to either slow down or speed up, and I'm not going to meet another truck anyway.
Don't you like crossing? Oh, the Savannah Bridge is gone.
So
It's 20.
the question is, do you want to have me bring back a resolution to change the posting silhouette for the Teddy Moore Bridge and the Wash Bridge, or just the Teddy Moore one?
I think if the bridges can handle it, we should have it posted where they can use them.
I'd say both.
You're hauling grain.
Do it both? Okay,
Yeah,
Do you need action on that?
no,
Not till we pass the resolution.
so just to be clear, that Washington one is it's gonna be one lane bridge and it'll be a posting.
Yeah.
Which the width of it already dictates probably one lane, in my opinion, but, all right. We go on that. As far as construction updates, the Iowa 0252 bridge, 576th Avenue, just south of Green Island. The plan is to pour the deck on that tomorrow. The Bellevue 2088 bridge, that should open today. We poured the deck on that on Veterans Day, so we should be good there. And then 239th Avenue, the culvert replacement project that S2 is doing. That was set yesterday. The plan is to hopefully get that open tomorrow. So that's really it for construction. It's wrapping up, and as it should be. So hopefully we pour the deck tomorrow on that Iowa bridge, we'll break a beam at 5 days, hopefully. By Wednesday or Thursday of next week, will that hopefully be, no, the weather's supposed to be decent next week, so.
Yeah.
Hopefully by that time next week, we should get it open too, so we'll see.
Okay.
That's all I have for you guys, so. Other than, I think I'm gonna. Next week, I think I'm gonna try and bring the destination lake policy to you guys. We have the costs, we got the clear zones. There's 3 locations where we have to do the expensive breakaway pole because we can't meet the clear zone. And those are locations I'm gonna have Jaden apply for traffic safety fund grant money to pay for those.
Okay.
So we'll probably, I budgeted to do the wooden pole, the less expensive locations where we can meet clear zone in next year's budget, so we can do the majority of them local funds, and the ones that are gonna take the more expensive applications, we're gonna budget, or we're gonna apply for the grant funds, and then if we get awarded, I'll turn around budget for those in the next fiscal year. And then we're set, I believe Alex is coming this week. Gonna sit down with him and talk about design schedule with Jaden. We got 2 contract labor bridges that I'd like to see them each design one moving in parallel, like with Alex helping Jaden. They're gonna come out, we'll do surveys for those. We got 6 day labor bridges that we're gonna hopefully budget for to do next fiscal year. So we need to do survey and do hydraulic analysis on all those, so we can get the type size location. Then we'll have a better idea of the budget or the estimated cost, and then we can decide whether we have to go to a letting. If we have a letting, then we got to prepare bid documents and all that. So we got a lot of design work to do here in the next 2 or 3 months, so.
Sounds good, progress.
Amen.
All right,
Thank you.
See them getting fixed. I don't know.
it's a big list. We're getting, but there's quite a few got done this year, and we do 6 day labors and 2 contracts. That's 8. I mean,
You know, these are, yeah, they're good to get done. That them that are working when they come, that one on the Preston Highway is,
yeah, so I did a 10-year bridge replacement schedule. Using your current BR account, your bridge replacement, your federal aid account balance. And then program what you have programmed, and then selected bridges and added those in. And we got about 4 bridges we can do, and then we're gonna be past our borrow ahead limit, which is 4.5 years. So we're gonna have to either, I'm hoping we're gonna get, this month we'll be applying for the county bridge money. It's similar to the city bridge money, but it's a county also has a set aside off the top. And we have a bridge right now that's 3rd on the list in points. So if that stays in that position, I'm hopefully that'll get funded. So that's up to $2 million, so we can use that money to move another bridge into our 10-year program to get done. And then hopefully we sent in 3 other bridges, to the Iowa County Engineers Association is working to put this big bridge improvement program application in to the feds. So hopefully one or more of our bridges makes that cut. And then potentially we could get an influx of that money too, so we could add another bridge to our 10-year. But, you know, it's gonna be, I think, 4 bridges, and we're gonna be in a situation where we've reached our cap on borrowing ahead, which they allow 4.5 years, and we're just gonna have to sit and wait until our allocations, our annual allocations, you know, replenish our funds, so.
So I've talked to others about that, but allocations like that, is it based on the number of bridges or we're blessed with the Macocata River, okay, so, but there's a lot of expense to that, you know.
So, yeah, so
the creeks and
it's-
the bluffs and the.
There's multiple factors that go into your, what do they call that? Your, can't think of the word.
Or
Your allocation or it's your ratio. It's just a number. It's a formula, but you know, bridge deck square footage is one of the big components. So like, yeah, you have a lot of longer bridges, but you don't have a lot of bridges in the grand total of things, right? So you guys have longer bridges than probably more longer river crossing bridges than I have in Clinton County. But we have 270 bridges, so our square footage is probably more than yours, but you have a lot more expensive bridges to replace. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like we have more smaller bridges, you have more larger bridges,
Mhm.
which I can do a lot of smaller bridges, you know, locally
Sure.
funded, but I gotta use BR to do the, you know, 400 and 500 foot like bridges, so.
We talked about this infrastructure money for 3 years there.
Yeah,
Where does it go to, Amtrak, or where does the infrastructure money go?
we haven't seen it.
Well, I'm hoping, so I should say the problem with it, but it's competitive based, right? So we gotta go out and compete for it.
Sure. Arm wrestle.
That would work. I don't know, I'm getting pretty old. I probably don't. But, you know, it did change our allocation, so we got a boost in our allocation. It's like 660 some thousand now. Before, I think it was in the upper 4s, just around 5. So we got a boost in our annual allocation.
Does that keep up with our inflation?
Well, it would have before inflation hit.
Did the powder to concrete do what they say it was gonna do? I haven't kept track. Is it $200 a yard now or not?
I won't see. Well, the nice thing is the quotes we got for the bridges
Yeah.
are going on now. I don't care what it costs.
Yeah.
We're
Well,
locked in.
contractors, they're probably locked in it.
Yeah, we're locked in, so. It'll affect when we, you know, our quotes we get next spring and stuff, but. All right, thank you.
Thanks, Todd.
Yep.
Have a good Thanksgiving.
You too. I always leave and forget. I remember that time.
Okay.
Thank you.
Too far away.
Huh?
We're not too far away.
Yeah, I know.
Hello, are you ready?
Have a good holiday.
She's on her way.
She's on her way. I'm just laughing about, but.
Okay, we'll recess until she gets here.
Slow but sure,
This
My
time,
wife's been doing that since March.
it's a pain in the wazoo, isn't it?
I've been on a buggy for 3 years.
this time we're being joined by Arlene Schaaf, our Jackson County recorder. Good morning.
Good
Good
morning.
morning.
I guess we're here again to talk about the scanning project. Which on November 1st, I dropped off a packet for you guys. It had the 3 different quotes in it. And then Luann asked me to re-email that stuff to her, so hopefully you have copies of that.
We do.
And then I also have this sheet, which kind of compares the different companies that we got quotes from, so.
So there's been a fair amount of change in.
I have, because I re-talked with Janet, well, one of the abstract employees. And kind of pinned down more of what They actually include in an abstract now. I work for the abstract company, but that was years ago. So some things have changed. So I have reduced some of the inventory. So yes, you're gonna see a change in the estimate, so.
I liked it. It certainly needs to be done. It certainly does.
Well, I reduced a
We all-
lot until the middle of October. And then I thought, okay, I'm gonna revisit with an employee from the abstract company again. And get more specific answers, so
So
that's
you're,
what you see now.
you are leaning toward, US imaging, is that correct?
Yes,
Okay, and a couple of these bids were real close to each other, but the off-site bid was dramatically different.
Mhm.
And US Imaging does not offer the off-site.
Well, even if they did, I don't think that's what we should do. We need to keep our records here. We can't take a chance of them being lost.
And how long-
Well, they wouldn't offer that unless they're secured.
Pardon?
They wouldn't offer that type of business unless it's secured.
Well, it's
I
even
mean,
the
they're
trans,
responsible for them.
even the transportation there. That's,
I understand the transportation, but the bid accordingly to this one anyway is dramatic. I mean, like
which
a-
one is that? Oh, yeah. Yes, but.
Which one you're looking at?
But microfilm imaging. They do not have the double, the check of their entry work. They only have one person check it and that's it. If you look at on the second page of this. As to why we really don't want to go with microfilm imaging. Because they also don't unmask. Or they don't mask the unwanted documents. And in talking with other reporters that have used them, most of them are not happy with their work. The older records are not clear. They're not readable.
And you can't read them, there's not much use in.
Yeah, you're can't say totally throwing your money away, but yeah, you're throwing your money away.
They're not readable because of the document itself was not readable, not because of what they did though.
No, it's because of what they did.
Okay,
Mhm.
so I certainly think this needs to be done, Arlene. And I'm gonna go by your input and expertise of how we should proceed. But we also, both of us, all of us need to be diligent to the taxpayer too. If
Oh,
there's-
absolutely, and I think I have been.
Okay, so why is there a cost to maintain a year? What is that all about?
It depends on the company you use,
Well, what are they maintaining?
our records.
Once it's done, it's done.
That is true, but not all companies look at it that way. Some companies keep copies in their at their site. Are you looking at like this?
Or
I
the
don't
second,
say, I don't want to say names, but are you
yeah,
looking at
yes,
this one?
yeah, the second one.
Okay. The way they do it, it's not what fits into our current solutions vision program. They take a digital picture of the index books. So you're gonna go on a separate icon and you're gonna click on whatever year of an index book you need. And say you finally find the name that you're searching for, and again, then the only search entity is by name. Okay, you're gonna click on that name, say we're looking up Jack Willie in 1915, we finally find his transaction. So then you're gonna click, you're not.
They were you in 1915, that's what I was.
You're gonna.
My dad wasn't even born in 1915.
Previous lifetime.
1917 he was born.
Yeah, so was mine. So anyway, you're gonna click on that and then that will pull up the image for that document. So it's not going to be, excuse me, it's not going to be in our solution vision program.
Which would make it impossible to find.
Well,
Or harder.
granted, they're digitized. But we're still gonna have to go through the same search process that we do now, through the old books, going by date, grantor, grantee. And their what the service they offer, yeah, does not go into our imaging solutions program, which if we can pull it into solutions vision, and the indexing program, we can search by grantor grantee, we can search by date, we can search by legal description. You know, because people will come in and say, I want to find the house my grandpa owned in 1913. You know, once the indexing is complete by us, we can just search by that name. Whereas now, we would have to go to the old index books and just search around that time period. And if you don't catch it when he bought it, you might catch it when he sold it, and then you can work your way backwards.
How many of them do we really get?
You'd be surprised.
I might be surprised.
You
but I
might be.
not.
And ARCA, they're just taking a picture of our index books and matching up the deed to that index book. And again, that's just your deed and town lot index books. It's not the miscellaneous books that have all your easements in, for example.
These are all public records, correct?
Mhm, mhm.
So they do not offer the offsite though, you're telling me, is that correct? They have to come here 24 hours a day and. Or do they offer offsite?
I don't remember it, to be honest, because it's.
You know, 'cause I'd be honest with you, there's quite a difference in that number. For these guys, and I realize they're in a different location.
And they don't offer the same service that US Imaging.
Yeah, I know,
offers.
but if the difference in price was that type of.
I'm sure it wouldn't be.
Yeah.
I can make a quick phone call just to see if they do offsite, but I really don't want. I don't want to allow our books offsite because of the possibility of them being damaged somehow. Those are very, very important books.
I know. but
Very
these have
important
to be responsible
information.
People, correct?
Well, sure, but do you want to take that chance? I don't want my name in the paper if something happens.
For $100,000, I put my name in the paper, yeah, there's that kind of difference.
Well, there won't be that kind of a difference though, because
I don't know that.
they don't, well, there won't be. Because US Imaging offers a lot more in their price than who are we looking at? Microfilm imaging, or
Right.
whatever it was.
Micro.
Yeah.
Imaging.
So,
So could you incorporate what you want to get done too at the same time, and would we
Be able to do all that?
I only have one quote that I'm aware of.
And it's not with these,
He was with them.
it was with them.
I have no other quote. I
If I
wasn't
remember-
directed to do anything.
Well, we'd like to do it all at the same time, won't we? That makes sense?
I didn't know what the direction of the board was, if it was just to get the recorder's office done, or, I
Well,
mean.
we know we need to do the whole
Everybody's.
ordinance.
I wasn't included in all of that. I only have the one quote.
I did reach out to the other offices. It's just, I chose to move forward to get quotes. And to see what other recorders have used and if they're satisfied or not, so.
I would use the one that's. It's gonna work the best, and the best images. I mean, if you can't. Read it well enough and you're still hunting through the books, there's no point in doing that.
I mean, if you're gonna invest the money, you might as well invest it.
Or even a security system. Okay, we can have a camera and a tape rolling, but the one we have now, if a briefcase shows up on the thing, we can click on that and it'll take you back to that instantly. And show you when it showed up. If you're going through all, I mean, it's just a time saving thing. It's just more accurate.
And believe me, I've done my legwork on this. I mean,
It sounds like you're doing more with this.
so. So do you want to know do we want to verbalize what the quote is that I want to present or not?
Well, I think we need to know what the quote is that you're. If it's the 146,000,
Everything's 180.
Yes, for US imaging. And then, of course, the solutions fee of $13,950.
And this would be all of our records, there's no maintenance fee with that.
Nope. Exactly. US imaging, once they're done, they're all ours. And if we do run across one that we feel could be clearer or whatever, that they do that at no cost. So,
You know, if you're gonna be paying a fee, those never stay the same, it's gonna keep going up, and what can you do at that point? You know, like rent, you know,
I certainly think it needs to be done, but I certainly think we'd like to incorporate yours with that.
I would agree with that.
amen, so would I.
I did get a quote from US Imaging, but I didn't know that that was included in today's business. So, I mean,
We've seen that before, correct? Yeah.
yeah, I did present that. I think it was. No, it was less than 25,000, and there was another.
For some reason.
There is a cost to solutions. But I think I included everything 25,000 or less.
For some reason, I thought it was more than that, if I remember back right.
I think.
No, I certainly would like to
Lori's was
include that.
more
If we're gonna do it, I would like to include that in on this.
I think Lori's was more than that. Lori's was more than 25,000 because we did include the zoning office in the quote.
If them two were together, I'm gonna say a round number of 60, somewhere around there.
I would say that's probably about correct. Yes.
That's what I remember.
Mhm.
Well, it all needs to be done.
It does need to be done, and to me, the ARPA funds were designated or given to us for this type of purpose where they don't have to come in and touch all the books and go through all that and do that kind of thing. It's more of a virtual where you can get your records and get your information without physically touching things.
Well, do we want to have Lisa get a solid quote for hers and for Lori's or anybody else in the courthouse that needs to have it done? And approve the whole contract at one time?
I know that there was a discussion with several offices that do not wish to participate.
Well, that's their
So
choice.
I was gonna say, so just so you're aware, they've chosen not to do this.
Well, we've talked about the treasurer's office. They're doing their.
They're actually doing scanning
Right.
daily, and then they're doing a monthly shredding.
So going forward, we are doing the same thing, correct? I mean, we are,
From 1997 forward, we have been indexing and scanning. We
That's
have
what I
been
meant.
digitizing.
yeah,
So it's records before that time period that this project is.
97. And how often do we go back after that? Quite a bit.
You know, easements are important.
I get it.
Yeah, I mean, so
Easements are
we
forever.
have to have access to them. So, and this is, you know, we're never gonna have an opportunity to do this in a small county.
No, I think we should definitely do it.
I just
I
have one
would-
question then, so to make sure that I understand what you're asking for, particularly. We have transfer books that kind of go side by side with the recorder's office. So we did include those into the scanning. But more importantly, what do you think about supervisors' minute books? As an example, they were part of that quote. So if you do not believe, I will tell you that they are downstairs in our very clean room. Okay, they're down in our room that are forever books. We have all of our election tally lists that are in that. So I included those supervisor minute books in with this quote. But if you don't feel that that's necessary, you're only talking about a handful of transfer books and maybe some road record books. It would be a significant decrease in that price. Because I did include.
I have no reason to keep them minutes. If somebody wants to go look for them sometime, they can go look for them.
I would say that if they're in a clean room and they're still available for people.
Then
to
my
research,
quote
yeah,
is
then I would not do
not that
that.
much then. I mean, we have several transfer books. And maybe if you, and you know, again, road record books, do they need to be done? So I included everything, but if that's not what the board wishes, then I have no problem just doing transfer books. And
I guess, Lisa, I want to do what you want,
That's
not
right.
what we want.
well, if you
What you
don't want,
want, have,
I'm okay then just doing, because they're in a clean room. We do have supervisor minute books done to the point that they are an unbound book. I cannot do a bound book.
How often do we go back into that?
You know what, for certain things, it's kind of crazy. I know.
10
Like when I had to-
10 times a year?
Well, I had to reestablish the zoning board.
I
So-
just
so-
want a rough number, 5 times a year, 10 times a year?
The problem is that I can't answer that because they're out on the public drive, so I don't know what other people or other offices. Do they get access to a lot? No.
Well, I think, to be honest, we need to take your recommendation and get this done.
Then I have no problem then just doing what I would call real estate,
Okay,
which then
I
my
agree.
records are significantly less. The cost will be significantly less.
I agree.
I know that there are some challenges with the records that are in the zoning office. Because years ago, prior to the 911 system, we have records that are done by rural route and box number. We have, or somebody's name. It will take a lot more work to try and figure out, and I've talked to Lori, this is a significant problem of how they filed stuff years ago. As funny as we talk about, sometimes we have to think about how so-and-so did something 30 years ago. And that's really what the challenge is right now, is we may have a record under Smith and Steinis. Well, which parcel is that? So then you have to take a look with that legal description, try and trace it back to, now trace it back to a 911 system. Address, we need to trace it back maybe to a parcel letter that we can attach it to. There are challenges when it comes to the records specifically for the zoning office. So my records for the auditor's office and the transfer books, that's cake. It is cake, a little more challenging for the zoning office. And I'm not saying don't do it, just be aware that it might be a little more labor intensive, which is kind of nice now that she has an administrative assistant.
So we need to put all these here together and make sure this company is willing to come down here and do this with a solid quote for all 3. Does that sound logical?
I'm okay with that. And we will take out the
Yeah,
quote
you can have a conversation or.
Yeah.
Communicate with them,
Okay,
get a quote, try to get it by next week so we can approve something.
All done, yeah, we'd like to.
I
move
don't know if
forward.
that's gonna happen with this being a short week.
This is a short week.
It's really good. The last time I requested the change, she was back to me the next day with it, but this.
I
is
mean,
a
if
holiday
you're
week.
telling her to take X amount of stuff off of it, I think that's probably easy enough. But Lori's stuff's not gonna change a lot, but yeah, well, just so we keep moving with it, I don't know if it's next week, but whatever you can.
We'll do it as soon as possible.
Yeah.
We'll try, but I don't make any guarantees.
I mean, I'm
she
going
can
by
be
a
on vacation
recommendation
for
from you guys
Thanksgiving.
because it needs to be done and now's the time and if this is what we have to spend to do it right. I don't like yearly costs. I don't like that.
No, they need to be one and done.
Fair enough.
Any other questions?
No,
Happy Thanksgiving.
you
Julie,
two
have a good holiday.
take care of yourself.
What
What happened? Surgery, injury?
is the camera on?
No, it's on.
Just pure stupidity. This
Oh,
this
wow.
was there and I was
Operator error. Just operator error.
pretty much, yeah, think about that.
Okay.
That was just a thought I had sitting here,
Okay,
so.
Okay, Lisa, you're up.
this morning I need a motion to approve the minutes of the November 15th, 2022 board proceedings as written by Auditor Smith and authorize publication in the official newspaper.
Motion to approve.
Second,
A motion and a second to approve publication of our previous meeting. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carried.
Motion needed to approve and authorize the auditor's office to issue warrants in the publication of the claims listing in the amount of $655,232.55.
Move to approve.
Second.
A motion and a second, I would say that $232,323.42 went to the Macocota Communications. We did over $60,000 in patching, over $100,000 in PCC patching, and $71,000 went to the Conservation Board's harbor. So,
That was about that, yeah.
so that's
Yeah.
a big part of that.
And we also paid all of our election officials
Yeah,
for,
yep.
so you know what, and that adds up also. Yep,
So,
absolutely.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carried.
The next item that I'd like to discuss with you today is I included this, Mike, did you get, you do have yours. Okay, so the next thing that I'd like to discuss is the contribution and aid of the construction agreement between Jackson County and Macocota Municipal Electric Utility. This is in regards to getting the electricity, the poles and the transformer and what else we need out at the Jackson County Law Enforcement Center. I have been talking with Chris Program from MMEU, discussing this, getting this in, and if you will notice on the front page, 2.0, it talks about the line extension cost is $25,070.35. What they're asking us to do is to enter into this agreement that I've included today for your looking at. And they are asking for us to sign this agreement. They also talk about an $18,000 credit. So I also have an invoice that says they could charge us this $25,070.35. They are doing a projected electric revenue credit of $18,000. So I do have an invoice for $7,070.35.
Well, we don't have much choice.
Not really, but so I need a motion needed for the chair's signature on the contribution in aid of the construction agreement between Jackson County and Macocota Municipal Electric Utility for the electrical installation at the Jackson County Law Enforcement Center, and approve the invoice from MMEUs for $7,070.35 for the installation.
So moved.
A motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye,
Can you
motion
tell me
carried.
why we, I guess why we got $18,000 credit, why did we do?
Because of the lighting and all the, what do you want to call it? Energy savings built into the building. I think that's what it's from. The type of, basically the lighting and heating and all that stuff. And probably the installation with.
I can't honestly answer that. I don't want to answer it wrong. I think I know. But I
That's
just don't
in
know.
relation to the solar panels too, or?
I do not believe so.
I don't think so either.
So the invoice will be in the claims period in 2 weeks, and I'll get signatures from Jack and forward it back to MMU. Sarah, if I can have you come forward, let's discuss. I know that we have talked in closed session about the purchase of a parcel of property. And so I asked Sarah to come today to kind of help us work through that process.
So we're still in negotiation process, but we are ready to move forward with a new offer.
Yes.
correct?
We have communicated back and forth with the property owner several times. Tried to negotiate, and last week I got the figure that's listed as their last and final offer. And I think that it was a little less than what we said our maximum was. So we have to decide what we're gonna do, and
I can tell you
Sarah's
that-
gonna share it with
Yes,
us.
and I can tell you that they have cut off access to this parking lot, so. Citizens, visitors coming here to the courthouse are no longer able to use this area. Employees are no longer allowed to park there, so it is a little bit of a change for us, and it won't take long for our parking lot to get full. So, go ahead, Sarah.
If the board wants to make this final offer, I did start an offer to purchase. That we can discuss the parts that I need your input on. And then I can get that completed and we can finalize it next week if that's what the board wants to do.
That's what I'd like to do.
Yeah.
Do we
Amen.
need to do this in a closed session? Are we talking numbers?
If you think this is your last and best offer, I don't.
Well, I think I think it's
We're not-
probably what both sides have agreed on right now. So
Well,
we're taking
I
the
have
word
not-
until it's signed.
I have not said anything about agreeing to anything.
Okay.
He gave us the last and final offer. And it was slightly less than what we had said we might. Would be our maximum amount we would spend.
So right now it's a handshake and
Yes,
we are in agreement though.
yes.
So as
And
long
they
as-
are waiting for us to decide before they go to the next person.
Well, I would like to proceed.
I do too.
Same here.
Okay, so now the question is, do we go into closed session to do this?
We didn't put it on the agenda to go into closed
No.
session. so
Okay.
no.
So I guess finish putting it together and we'll look at it next week.
Okay. So some of the things I need your input on, well, I'll be working with Lisa on the legal description because the deed included the building, so we
Okay.
can separate that out.
Yeah.
I have the purchase price.
It'll be a separate abstract for that then.
Well.
We would
I
like
can
it to
talk
be.
about that.
Probably.
Or can we add it to this? property?
Yep.
No,
No, we need separate.
Okay.
yeah, I would say it's a different area.
Yes, I would agree.
So. I have the permitted use of the property for any lawful county government purpose. We could be more broad if you want, just say, this is the language we used when we bought the jail property. So if you're okay with that, I'll leave it in there. If we want
I
to-
would say yes.
Again, your recommendation is.
I think you need to leave it broad because you never know.
Yeah,
Right, right.
Yeah.
You may decide down the line, you wanna
put it down.
put a coffee shop.
I doubt that.
I'm sure there's a government interest there.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next issue would be the condition of the property. I mean, we can all see it. Do we want to just acknowledge that we've made a satisfactory inspection and are purchasing it in its existing condition, or do we want to allow for an inspection?
No, we're good.
Okay,
We don't need
We're
an
good.
inspection.
that's what I figured.
I inspected, we inspected.
And you can do it again today. Abstract and title, do we want to ask them to pay to have the abstract created, or are we going to do that at our expense?
Okay, what's normal?
Well, the seller usually has to bring the abstract up to date, but like you said, they're gonna be separate. So if we want a new abstract. Your opinion, my opinion would be that, I mean, we can ask them, but my opinion is that we'll have to pay for the abstract if it's ours. I'd like to
And I
ask.
don't know what that kind of cost is.
$400.
Because they're just gonna be splitting it off essentially.
I think it's not as high as if we had lost one and had to create a brand. new
Right,
one. I would
right,
think
that's
that
exactly, what you're saying
Yeah.
is that they're gonna take it out
They're
of
just gonna
here
split it
and
off.
put it here, yeah.
Yeah.
So you want me to leave it as buyers at their expense? Will
Well, what does the word say right now?
buyers at their expense after the survey of the new parcel has been filed, which shall promptly cause an abstract of the title of the property, which I don't know if we need it.
We do not need a survey.
Survey, I think that the
I don't
legal
believe- I guess
description is
that's
a distinct legal description within the deed. I just have to figure out.
For that parcel? Oh, well, then we do.
So it's tied to the building, but I think
I
it's
think, I
separate.
think, yeah,
It's separate.
Yeah.
it is.
So right now it has. The buyer's paying for that cost.
Fine.
You're okay with that?
Okay.
And warranty deed or quick claim?
Warranty.
Figured. Is there anything else that you would want to include, any additional provisions you think would be necessary?
Is there specific uses, like you said, you left it that broad enough? Is there access from Platt?
No,
No.
they took that away.
The city did when they,
Did the street?
Yep, took that and a lot of parking places away.
Yep.
On both sides of Platte.
If
I
we get
can't-
this purchase, we really need to talk about some handicap parking.
Yes, we do.
I agree.
This is, and I've talked to the city. Not recently, but handicap accessibility.
Let's take that bump out of
I haven't been able to get that done yet, Mike, but I'll keep working.
Just get one of those. Break it off. Crazy. the way they put
Working
it.
on the benches, but I haven't talked about bump outs yet.
okay, so if there's no additional provisions, the final thing is how long do you want to give them to accept our official offer?
Couple of days,
Yeah, 48 hours.
Really?
What's the normal?
I don't know. It's
a
not-
day. If I was gonna put one in when the market was hot, 3 hours.
Okay, say 24 hours.
Is he accessible?
I don't know. I'm
Yeah,
not-
that's the only thing, if he'd be out of the
Is it,
I don't believe he's in the area right now, but he's accessible through his partners.
email,
That's-
yeah.
so
2
48
or 3
hours?
days, yeah, I don't know, 2 or 3 days. I don't think anybody's gonna undercut us or buy it from under us. We have a handshake, so whatever that's worth.
All right, well, that's all I need. I will put that together and email it out to you, and then get on the agenda to just come in and have it officially approved next Tuesday, and then we can ship it out.
Okay, we can't approve it as presented and move forward.
You
Because we don't have it
can,
on the,
I'm not working tomorrow. I don't have a lot of time today to get it done. So I can't promise you that I would have it available for signature today.
That's okay. But I would just like to be able to let them know that, yes, we are going to purchase it.
Okay.
Sure.
oh, you can have communication with Chuck, yeah.
Okay,
Just tell them that we're gonna do the official paperwork next Tuesday.
okay. I will do that.
Perfect.
Alrighty?
Yep, thank you.
All right.
Thanks,
Have a good
Derek.
holiday.
Thank you.
You need all day tomorrow to cook the turkey?
More like I need a break and we'll burn out.
Okay.
So therefore, I don't need a motion on anything with concerning the property here. We'll take care of that next week. Right, thank you. The last item on my agenda for today is I do need a motion to approve resolution number 928-11-22-2022, certifying delinquent Leisure Lake sewer assessments to the county treasurer for property tax collection in the amount of $4,026.82.
Motion to approve.
I would second, is that a little less than normal?
It's kind of running about that. I mean,
A
these are,
little less than-
these are very reoccurring charges
Yep.
from, say.
Normally they'll come through at some point,
At some point, there's still a significant amount of delinquent.
but we have put in place a procedure that we can assess that.
We're, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Mhm.
Well, at what point in time, I mean, this is for like a year, right? Most of these,
Mhm. I'm sure.
so are some of these at 3 or 4 or 5 years built up already?
Sure. I
And
think
at what
it's,
point in
isn't it
time?
$55 a month?
Something like that.
So I would say that these are 6 to 8 months behind, it looks like.
Yeah, you don't have any there that,
Yeah.
Are you willing to say how many people, not who, but I would say 12?
9, it looks like.
nice,
And there's 330 out there, I think, so it's a pretty small percentage.
It is, yeah. I mean, it kind of, it rolls with the ebb and the tide of this. I mean, this isn't unusual.
And it,
We send notices out also, and I don't mean we as an I, Shelley does send notices to these people, and so there is an effort at the county level to try and collect this prior to doing this resolution.
Often you do this kind of resolution every year. or-
yeah,
I'd say twice a year.
otherwise it goes to that, right?
Yeah, I'd say at least twice a year. We can look for some.
and a couple of these are people that died and the estate isn't settled yet. So we're leaving it carried. We just had this discussion in our Irish meeting to carry it just at the regular rate and not charge late fee until the state is settled,
I
so.
think the one in particular, I think they get resolved, didn't it?
Yeah.
It takes a while. It does, yeah, and there was some issues with the estate.
Yeah.
Yeah. So. Other than that, I have nothing else, but happy
We
to.
still got a motion on the table.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carried.
That's all that I have for the board today.
Thank you.
Well, that leads us to Luann.
Morning.
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 Calendar this week is short and sweet. At 11:30 this morning, if Jack can choose to go down there, it's a workforce appreciation, staff appreciation event in Davenport. Tomorrow, Wednesday, November 23rd, all the state offices will be closed along with the county attorney's office. The courthouse itself will be open. I'm guessing there won't be a lot of people around. Thursday and Friday, November 24th and 25th, the courthouse will be completely closed for the Thanksgiving holiday. Monday, November 28th at 4 p.m. is an early childhood open house in DeWitt. For Jack, but it's also open to the public, so any of you can go to that if you wish.
Actually, they're inviting all the legislators and all of the providers of services to ECI, to Early Childhood Iowa, are putting together an informational packet about what their program is, how they provide it. And it's just kind of an introduction to anybody that wants to come and just find out what ECI does, and hopefully to instill in the legislators that are there that the funding is extremely important. So, but there will be some refreshments and there are going to be talks, but it's not going to be a long event.
Okay. Our next regular meeting will be Tuesday, November 29th at 9 a.m. The business I have for today is discussion possible action to appoint to the Jackson County Zoning Commission. Emerita, or I think it's Mary, she calls herself Keys, to fill a vacancy that's been on that commission for a couple of years.
Motion to approve.
Second.
A motion and a second to appoint Mary Keys to the Jackson County Zoning Commission. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Looks like she'd be a good fit for it. Really good background.
That's all the business I have for you.
Thank you.
Okay, boards and commissions.
Waste Authority, we had a meeting Monday and there's a few issues going on there that they need to resolve. They're in the process of putting up a new office space and a meeting room for that facility, because right now he's up above, basically in the attic that's not accessible, and it'll make it nice. They do have a new loader that's not working perfectly. So there's trying to resolve that issue also.
Okay, Jackson County Economic Alliance, we met and we established a 5-year goal, and I think you all received copies of that, and Kelly Brown and Ben is really fitting in nicely. So we're happy about that. They are moving, which I was surprised about. I didn't know that they were going to be moving, but they're moving into the space where the US Bank was. And it's going to be a little less than the anticipated rent adjustment that was going to be made if they stayed where they're at. And it will both give them more space in their offices. And yesterday we had our mental health disability service meeting, and there will be an amendment to the rules and regulations for the commission, and that will be coming to us as a 2080. They're really working on trying to develop some additional children's services, and I'll tell you, it's quite an undertaking, trying to get everything organized and everything done. Lynn will be in next week to share some of that stuff with you. She says I could do whatever I wanted, and I said, well, I really like it when we do it together, so she'll be here next week. to
I certainly
discuss it.
think there's a need for that. You tell any staff or administration at these schools, there's a need for it.
Conservation Board,
They're loaded, they're putting in a new dock in Bellevue, which has been washing out for several years now, it's been unsafe, so that's. All the stuff showed up material wise. We'll be working on that soon. There's another property northeast of town. 17 acres with a 5-acre lake on it, so be taking possession of that next month or so. It was kind of tentative for a 6-month agreement. And then, so that's coming through. Build a new pond at the Papke property, a 4-acre one, and that's about half full now, so it's a nice addition to that area for people. They walk trails and hiking trails, and it's a hunting area too, so. It's a nice addition to the county.
Are they fixing the boat ramp or the harbor wall?
Harbor wall.
Both, they're fixing the harbor wall.
They're gonna try to get some repairs done.
Okay, so it's the harbor wall they're fixing, not the boat ramp.
They're fixing the harbor wall, and the boat ramp is broke off.
They're going to do some repairs to the boat ramp. They're not gonna, they wanted to replace the boat ramp with a bigger ramp and
Why a double one?
a double one. So they're just, there's enough money
So
there.
how
Just
expensive, what's the top dollar for that,
bid for the big one. I don't,
for the boat ramp?
Did Alex design that too?
Alex looked at it and made recommendations.
I
Can
don't
you
know
bid
that.
it?
I don't know, there was a number involved with. I know they were going after some grant funding because the city of Bellevue had got some grant funding for a new ramp. And Griffin was in on that,
Mhm.
so I don't know where.
I don't think that money came through, but I think they're allowing or using some money from the REAP fund or something that we can make the repairs but keep it usable. So. That's a busy place down there.
Mhm.
okay, anything else?
Seventh judicial, we got $1 million grant to funding for people for a work release program. When they're released from incarceration, they'll pay their deposits and stuff and a couple of months rent to get them back on their feet. This was a grant that was put out for the United States with one grant, and we were lucky enough to get it. It's like a 4.5-year program. It'll take about 6-8 months to get it up and running, and then we'll run it, and in the last 6 months, so do survey and to see how it really worked, and then they'll probably try to make it into a program for other places, but we're the guinea pigs, I guess, if you want to call it. We're thankful for it. It's a good stepping stone to keep people from going right back into it and getting caught up again, so that's exciting. We've done a few other programs there, pilot ones for drug court and stuff where one guy he got to learn how to make pancakes and stuff for his kid. I mean, he just had never learned how to cook at home. And I don't know if anybody goes out for breakfast and stuff, that's expensive. And it's just a huge savings for him to be able to feed his family at home. I mean, this stuff, the kind of things they're teaching you so you don't get caught in that rut again of going back on the street.
At our meeting yesterday, one of the judges from the court was there and made a presentation. And I think everybody just was really impressed with what's happening with that drug court.
Yeah, it is impressive.
Yeah.
If there's no further business, I'd make a motion to adjourn.
Second. The motion and a second, we just tell anybody watching, happy Thanksgiving, and to everybody here, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried.
Steve?